Hello, my name is Sal Moore. I'm the Director of Academic Advising for UNLV's Academic Success Center. What I'll be going over with you today is intended for CSN faculty, staff, advisors, whoever works with or advises transfer students interested in coming to UNLV or coming to UNLV. The agenda you see in front of you is just the bullets that I was given. I'll be going through some of these more than others. Our contact info is on a few of these slides. ASC Advising is our general email at unlv.edu, and then our general phone number you can call and ask for myself or any advisor on our staff. Let's go through our advising team. So the academic advising team at UNLV's Academic Success Center, we advise students in the exploring major. We divide students by alpha. So you'll see me there on the top left. Director Tiffany Schmier is our Assistant Director for Advising in RPC. The RPC part of her job is she handles, coordinates a lot of our outreach events and our work with students regarding, special populations, be it probation, Dean's List students, scholarship recipients, those over 48 credits, which is our limit, our guideline, more than a limit for our exploring students. And handles outreach and all that encompasses. Nicholas Hainsworth handles our alphabet A through C. Elizabeth Johnson, D through H, Shito Service, I through M, Jackie De Jesus, students with last names N through R. Jennifer Sikowski is kind of our connection to the Vice Provost's office. She's an academic advisor. Functionally, she handles students with S through Z, but she also is tasked with kind of working with Tiffany in developing outreach intended for the first year students. We are the largest major. Exploring is the largest major at UNLV for incoming freshmen. So our recent cohort was over 1,000 students, where the average college, hospitality, business, 300 to 400 for the other majors. Liberal arts is probably the next closest. Logan Cohen is our admin assistant. He coordinates numerous things for us. And then we recently have been approved for 3 new academic advisor positions, the silhouettes, the 3 silhouettes on the bottom right. So those are brand new positions that are being added to us to help us manage those alpha splits in the cohorts. So we'll be adjusting as soon as those are hired. And then we have a kind of a senior advisor position that's an ongoing search right now. So a little bit more about students in the exploring major and transfer students. Generally, depending on the number of credits that students come with as transfers, they don't fall into the exploring major, but they are allowed to meet with us to explore majors to see, what their transfer credits go best with, or what their career aspirations are, or what they're interested in for majors. So as I said, over 4,000 students, closer to 4,500 right now in the exploring major, and closer to 5,000 if you factor in non-degree seeking students. Non-degree seeking students are basically students from, there's a few different reasons a student would come in non-degree seeking. Number one, they're not admissible to UNLV. Number two, they're just taking classes for personal fulfillment or to meet requirements at another institution, or for professional school, taking additional classes. Students who are interested in medical school or PT school or something like that, they fall into the non-degree seeking. Also, if I didn't mention, students who aren't admissible to UNLV, so they can take up to 24 credits as non-degree seeking and apply those to a degree seeking career, so to speak, at UNLV. Just a little bit about that population. The 25% note there, that's how that 1,000 students in our cohort break down to probably right around 300 or 250 for exploring, and then each of our major pathways, science, engineering, and business, are about a quarter of our incoming and continuing population. The major pathways program is students who aren't admissible to engineering, business, or the College of Sciences, being that those 3 colleges require that students test into or have completed Math 126 or Math 124 for business as a minimum. So students recently, since fall 20, UNLV is not requiring ACT or SAT scores for admissions, but we do still use those for placement. For placement in math and English. Students who come in without those and are intending on a business science or engineering major are put into the major pathways program. Their advising is more intensive. We help make sure that they find the major that's best for them, whether it's that intended pathway or something else. Generally, students, about half of students who come in under a pathway end up in a different major. Our advisors are that resource for students, updates, deadlines, policies that may apply to a student in different situations, faculty senate wise, or grade grievances and things that they might not know about coming in, but that difficulties or challenges that they may run into during their time with us. We recommend students meet with us at least once a semester, and we're pretty good about, if not getting them in on their own, mandating it for certain populations, and I think that comes up in another slide. Our appointments over the past year have been primarily WebEx or phone appointments. We are just now opening up to in-person appointments. We will fully open up to in-person appointments, so all of our advising staff beginning January 1 will be available to meet students in person with masks or whatever the requirement is at that point. Or something may happen and we may go back on that, but as of right now, January 22, all our advisors would be available for in-person appointments, and right now there's only a couple of us who are seeing students in person. We do outreach to students on a monthly basis, if not more. Just those, we do a pre-semester email, we do a week 5 email, week 10, and so on, finals week and things like that. And then advising holds we put on students over 48 credits, and or if it's not on your screen, students who are on probation. Majors and minors, so obviously we just have, as I mentioned, the exploring major. As far as helping students find their major, we work with all the other, I believe it's 11 other advising centers on campus, and helping students get into their majors. Or for transfer students, they can meet with us if they're over 48 credits. They can still have an appointment with us without changing their major to exploring. We'll just help them through that career major exploration piece. Our general education worksheet, this is essentially what all of our students see every time they meet with an advisor, in person or virtually. The left side is kind of the must-have stuff. This is basically that general associate's degree that you all have. Math, English, we add the first year, second year seminar to that. Constitution requirements, the stuff on the left as we go through this with students is must-have regardless of your major. On the right, there's some variety depending on the degree that they'll be going into. Changes for 21-22, as I said, we basically just follow the other colleges. We do a once-a-year degrees workshop over the summer where we are the receivers of information updates, catalog updates from all the colleges and majors on campus, and that's been an annual event because catalogs have been annual for at least the last 6 years that I remember. Admissions, as I said, for the exploring major, well, one thing is students who are returning from UNLV. So if you have a transfer student that once upon a time was at UNLV a semester or 5 years prior, a lot of times they are by default, they are put into the exploring major if they are returning students. And then they can either contact the advising center to declare their major directly, or they can meet with us to make sure that they meet the requirements for the intended major. Career resources, so part of what we do in major exploration and just our work with students is it's really this bold part here at the bottom, connecting those majors or courses that they're in to career choices and vice versa, identifying those goals that students might have and the aspirations, and really kind of sitting down with them and letting them know what it means, what it takes to get to med school or law school, and kind of set those, look at that big picture stuff and then set up baby steps, week to week, semester to semester. We work with UNLV Career Services on letting students know about career events, job placement, jobs on campus, off campus. We use the Focus 2 assessment in coordination with our first year seminar, COLA 100E, you'll see there on the bottom right. We do advising presentations. Students in that first year seminar class are required as an assignment to meet with their advisor. Generally, those students are in their first semester or first year at UNLV, so we make sure that they start those habits of meeting with their advisor every semester. Our online degrees directory is available to everybody. It's basically a database of all the degrees and degree sheets on campus. And then the other things is just some of the things I talked about helping students remember important dates, identifying campus resources, and then policies and procedures. Services and scholarships. So a few more kind of general things that the Academic Success Center provides for all students, not just in the exploring major. Peer mentoring, it's generally for incoming freshmen. Our peer mentors outreach to students. There's a peer mentor program in every college. And it varies slightly, but basically it's for first year students to connect them with someone on campus who can kind of guide them to the ins and outs of day-to-day life being at UNLV. Success coaching, success coaches are generally graduate students who help students with some of those soft skills, and they put on workshops. And again, this is available to any student in our coaching spot, which is just across from our office on the second floor of the Student Service Complex, Building A. One more thing on peer mentoring is it's on there. Transfer students can request for a mentor to reach out to them, just like I said, to answer those questions, those day-to-day type questions. Tutoring is generally on the second floor of the library. Basically, on-demand help. They basically just go in there, math primarily. Second floor of the library, they go swipe in. They must be registered, enrolled in the class that they're getting tutoring for. And they can also request any subject that is not offered. And if the tutoring office gets enough requests for a certain subject, they'll hire a tutor. Supplemental instruction, that is study groups. The SI instructor is basically a professional student who works with students in a certain class, a certain section of the class, has like a guided study session with students. And then scholarships, we have a Dean's Award Scholarship, which is specifically for freshman or sophomore students in the exploring major. We also have a Jump Start Scholarship, which is also for students in the exploring major. They start taking applications for those at the beginning of the year. So around February of 22, we'll start, again, emailing students and letting them know what's coming up for them. The Hickson Lead Scholarship is run through the Academic Success Center. That's from students for all majors. Students need to go through a more rigorous application process, but all the info of that is on our website. That's it. We have if you're on Instagram and you want to follow us, that's our handle there, UNLV_ASC. As far as advisors, it's good because what we put on our Instagram is some of those deadlines and dates and FAFSA coming up and things like that. We have the Facebook and the Twitter page as well. ASC Advising, once again, at unlv.edu. That's our general email. And then you can also contact me, salvador.mora, salvador.mora at unlv.edu. That is it. Thank you.